everybody, it's Margaret and welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys this gold ring that I picked up at Savers, and I'm going to tell you why I picked it up, all the reasons that I thought it might be gold, and then at the end of the video, we are going to test it with my gold testing kit and find out if I was right, if it really was gold, or if it was a bust. So this is the ring that I picked up for $4.99 at Savers today, and I picked it up because I had a suspicion that it might be gold. So here are the reasons that I decided to take a chance on this and pick it up and see if it was gold. First of all, the color was pretty good for it being gold. Now when I picked it up, I noticed it was very lightweight for its size. So I started thinking that perhaps it was maybe not gold, and then also later realizing that it's probably hollow, that this piece with this design on it is one layer, and then on the inside there's been another layer placed inside to make the inside band of the ring. So that's one reason. The next reason I thought that it might be gold is because of, well, the markings. There are some markings inside. The band that comes across here, I guess, is where the seam is, and it's marked 14K right in there. Let's see if you can see it. Actually, the band that comes across here has a B, a capital B, in 2 circles. So it's some kind of maker's mark. I've looked it up and can't find it. And then there's a little cartouche placed just underneath it with 14K Italy. In my research while I was looking that up, there was a time where 14K Italy was allowed for imports, and it wasn't always 14 carats, so that's something that I have to look into a little bit more when I test this. So the next reason that I thought it might actually be gold is that if it were plated on the inside where the coating might be, or if it was something else like something on top of a cheaper metal, this inside where it was worn would start showing signs of wear. Perhaps, you know, there might be areas where the finish had rubbed away, and that's something that I don't see any of. So another thing that led me to believe that it might be gold are these dents in it. Gold is a very soft metal, and these dents being on the part of the ring that would be on the back. So because this seam, I'm thinking if you were wearing this, you wouldn't want the seam to be towards the front. So this would be where your hand would knock into stuff. So there are some dings along here in the metal. The dings are one thing, but also the fact that when it dented in the metal, it didn't scrape any finish off. It left an indentation. So if this were plated with something else, then that would be the opportunity for that finish to get chipped off and to maybe show some of the metal underneath if it were not gold. So another thing that I thought was a good feature was that on this piece that they have wrapped around on the inside, it's done really, really well, and it's, as you can see, it looks like either kind of melted on a bit or soldered on a bit, so it's really affixed to the piece pretty securely. And even down here, they followed the seam marks with the edges that they've kind of tucked it in along the edges. And I'm not sure, but I'll see if I can get a close-up of this here. The stamp is really clean, so that's another reason that I thought, well, maybe it's going to be really gold. So I'm going to test this now, and we will find out what we find out. And then I've got my scale here for us to measure it as well. I am putting on gloves to protect my hands from the acids, and I bought some new acids, so we'll use the new ones. Okay, so there's our stone. These are the acids. I do have a kit, a box that I keep these in, but these are the new ones, so I want to make sure I use the new ones to test this. So I'm going to use the 10K and the 14K because one of the articles I read said that sometimes with the 14K Italy, it wasn't always what it said it would be for some reason. I'll have to link the article that I read. Okay, so I'm finding an inconspicuous spot the best I can. Technically, if this ends up being gold, it's made up of multiple pieces, so that would be considered one piece, that band across. The two sort of rolled edges, then the outside layer would be considered a section, and then the inside piece would be considered a section. So I'm going to rub like right along here for this middle kind of band piece that goes across. Make sure I'm in the right spot. So there's the mark. It looks pretty good to me, and as I'm looking at where I scratched it, I'm not seeing that it like, oh, it rubbed away from the material. I'm also going to find a spot on the actual ring part here that I can scrub, because this came from that section, so I'm going to also do this portion right here. So one thing I'm looking for too is, are they the same color? And they seem to be pretty much the same color, so that's a good sign as well, if they are. So there's that. So I'm going to start with the 10K. Oh, I just realized these are not. I haven't used these. These are fresh and new. So here we go. So I'm going to make a line going across with the 10K first. So what you're looking for when you test with these acids is that the gold would disappear underneath the line. So as you're seeing in the underneath, you can still see the gold. So the acid has not dissolved the gold away from that. So now we're going to try the 14K. And here we go. Okay. So we're looking at it, and I'm looking to see if the 14K has dissolved it. I'm giving it a second, because I'm seeing some change, but I still see the gold there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bit of a glare. So the gold is still there. Okay, so let's do one more time with the 14K just so we see it again. And again, when I look at the spot that I rubbed, it's not, you don't, if it were plated or something else, you might see, oh, it's rubbed away, that it had rubbed away from the under metal, but there's no indication of that at all. So once again, let's get our 14K. Solution on there. And then when I do the 18K, I'll try not to let it, I'm going to do the 18K up here so you can see. So there on the 18K, you can see it just dissolves it right off. Oh, there's a bit of a glare, so let's see. But you can still see the gold underneath the 14 karat. So it is 14 karat. Cool in the gang. Again, I'll put the 10K down here. So this one is the 10K, just so you can see that it doesn't dissolve at all or change with the 10K because it's not strong enough. All right, you guys, we have a winner. So I'm gonna weigh it and look it up, or how much it would go for by weight. There. All right, so we're gonna weigh it. It's pretty light, so it is 3.3 grams. So I will go on to the gold scrap calculator and find out what 14 karat gold scrap for 3.3 grams is, and I'll pop it in here and let you guys know. Cool. I'll talk to you guys soon. So the gold scrap calculator said that it would be about $81, but this is not what I'll list it for. I'll probably list it closer to the $200 or $300 mark just to start with. I can always bring it down from there, but I'm going to look around and see what else I find that's similar, but I'm going to list it for a lot more than that just because it's pretty cool and it's a nice wide band.